Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back.
Waiting for a Xiaomi phone with a bigger screen and a bigger battery? The new Xiaomi 17 Max finally delivers exactly that, and there's a lot to unpack. Right from the box, the experience feels premium. You get a security seal, a sleek, elongated package, and a complete accessory set. Xiaomi includes a 100-watt charger with a USB-A port, a 20-volt 5A charging solution, a 99-centimeter 6A charging cable, a protective case, and, of course, the phone itself. Big thanks to my tech partner over in China for providing this footage. I really appreciate the support in making this video happen. Hey everyone, Stella here from techiestreet. If you're into staying updated with the newest gadgets, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our latest tech content. Peeling off the protective film, the first thing you notice is the size. Compared to the standard Xiaomi 17, this phone feels noticeably larger. The flat display gives it a clean, sturdy look, while the slightly curved edges make it comfortable to hold. Up top, there's the earpiece and a small display opening. The camera bump is visible, but thanks to the larger body, it doesn't feel oversized. The frame features a matte silver metal finish, and Xiaomi has paid close attention to symmetry. There are two antenna lines on each side section, creating a balanced design. Interestingly, there's no visible top speaker grille. The volume buttons are wider and feel more satisfying to press. At the bottom, you'll find the microphone, SIM tray, and an oval-shaped opening designed to prevent misuse. Flip the phone over, and the design feels instantly familiar. The rounded, square camera island keeps things clean and minimal. From certain angles, you can spot a hidden lens ring design that blends beautifully into the body. The module houses a triple camera setup and flash, plus a tiny microphone that you shouldn't block while recording. Since this is the Max model, Xiaomi also adds a periscope telephoto lens, one of the phone's biggest highlights. The Xiaomi 17 Max weighs 227 grams. It's not light, but it's not overly heavy either. Combined with the metal frame and glass back, it feels undeniably premium. Turn on the display, and the screen-to-body ratio immediately grabs your attention. The bezels are incredibly slim and evenly balanced on all four sides, giving the phone a clean, symmetrical look. The lighter bezel color also helps the display appear even more immersive. Speaking of the display, Xiaomi packs in a huge 6.9-inch flat panel with a 2608 by 1200 resolution, placing it in the 1.5K category. It supports a 1 Hz to 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate. One major highlight is the M10 luminous display system, co-developed with Huaxing Semiconductor using a new red luminous material. It's the same premium screen technology found in the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. Xiaomi also brings its Super Pixel technology, which improves text clarity while reducing power consumption. Unlike traditional pentile layouts, this structure delivers sharper visuals and better efficiency. In brightness testing, the display reached 641 nits manually under sunlight mode. With auto brightness outdoors, it climbed to an impressive 1,865 nits. Xiaomi even claims localized peak brightness can exceed 3,500 nits in certain situations. For eye comfort, DC dimming is enabled by default. Turn on Adaptive Refresh Rate Pro, and the screen can reach up to 2160 Hz PWM dimming. Put simply, this is a true flagship display. To show off the panel further, let's play a short HK2 video clip and see which display performance you prefer. We'll reveal the result a little later. Now let's move to the cameras. The Xiaomi 17 Max features a triple camera setup with Leica color tuning. By default, Leica Vivid mode is enabled, but Leica Classic still stands out with its rich cinematic character. Reds and blues especially look stunning, almost like brush strokes on a painting. The hardware sees major upgrades. The main camera uses a 200-megapixel sensor with a 23mm focal length and a large 1/1.7-inch sensor size. Alongside it is a 50-megapixel Leica periscope telephoto camera powered by the IMX882 sensor, offering 3x optical zoom, 6x lossless zoom, and up to 120x digital zoom. So how does it compare to the competition? Against Samsung's 200-megapixel flagship, Xiaomi produces brighter images overall. Detail reproduction is also slightly better, especially in fine text and textured areas. Central image sharpness stands out, with objects like outdoor AC units and partitions looking impressively detailed. One huge advantage of a 200-megapixel sensor is cropping flexibility. You can crop deeply into an image and still retain usable quality, effectively creating a 2x or even 4x zoom effect. In side-by-side comparisons, the cropped 200-megapixel image remains surprisingly close to the dedicated 70mm telephoto shot. Of course, there is a trade-off. High-resolution photos take longer to process and benefit from better lighting. That's why Xiaomi still shoots at 12-megapixel by default. Comparing those 12-megapixel images with Apple and Samsung, Xiaomi lands comfortably in the middle. Colors are more natural than Samsung's vibrant style, but richer than Apple's flatter approach. Across multiple samples, that balance remains consistent, while text and detail retention stay strong. Night photography tells a different story. Here, Xiaomi becomes more vibrant than its rivals. It controls bright light sources effectively while preserving detail in darker areas. Telephoto performance is also competitive, with each phone having strengths depending on the scene. And in the next set of samples, we'll zoom in even further to see which camera truly comes out on top.
Now things get really interesting. At the same focal length, the Xiaomi produces noticeably sharper text than Samsung, but when compared to Apple's iPhone and its 4x 100mm telephoto lens, Xiaomi falls just a little short. And before anyone says that's an unfair comparison against Samsung's 10MP 3x telephoto camera, let's bring in Vivo into the battle since it uses a similar focal length. Looking at the samples, both phones have clear strengths. Xiaomi handles white balance extremely well and keeps highlights and shadows nicely balanced. The rival phone, however, delivers a cleaner and more transparent look. Which one wins? That depends entirely on your taste. Moving to another sample set, Xiaomi once again shows more accurate colors when zooming in. As for sharpness, both devices perform at an impressively high level. Now let's check out some additional shots, including ultra-wide and portrait photos. Looking at all these images together, which one catches your eye the most? But cameras aren't the only thing that's huge here. The Xiaomi 17 Max lives up to its name with a massive 8,000 mAh battery, the largest battery ever used in Xiaomi's numbered flagship series. That's 1,000 mAh bigger than the Xiaomi 17 Standard and 500 mAh larger than the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. In daily use testing with browsing, video recording, streaming, and gaming sessions, the phone still had 71% battery left by the end. For most users, that's easily enough for a full day of moderate to heavy use. To really stress the battery, the display was locked at 400 nits, while HD online videos played continuously from 100% down to 0%. The result? An impressive 17 hours and 48 minutes of screen time. Charging is equally strong. The Xiaomi 17 Max supports 100-watt wired and 50-watt wireless. In testing, it reached 100% in about 1 hour and 11 minutes, while a full charge, including trickle charging, finished in 1 hour and 13 minutes. Peak charging power hit 83.8 watts. Now let's talk performance. Powering the phone is the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, one of the fastest mobile processors available today.
Combined with LPDDR5X RAM and UFS 4.1 storage, this is pure flagship hardware. Geekbench 6 delivered impressive scores of 3751 single-core and 11,674 multi-core. On Antutu V11, the highest result reached an incredible 4.07 million points, putting it firmly among top-tier flagships. GPU testing with 3D Mark also looked strong. Thanks to the larger body and better cooling, the phone achieved a score of 7720. But benchmarks only tell part of the story. In honor of kings, the Xiaomi 17 Max maintained a rock-solid 120 FPS. Even the 1% low stayed at 111.3 FPS, meaning gameplay remained buttery smooth during intense moments. After 30 minutes, temperatures were around 40 degrees Celsius, while power consumption stayed near 3 watts. Next came Genshin Impact at high settings and 60 FPS. Even after 30 minutes, performance remained nearly flawless. The 1% low measured 54.6 FPS. Temperatures reached 41.6 degrees Celsius on the front and 42.6 degrees Celsius on the back, with most heat concentrated beneath the camera module. Power draw stayed around 4 watts, very impressive. Finally, under the demanding golden moment mode at max settings, the phone averaged 59.9 FPS over 30 minutes. Temperatures climbed to around 45 degrees Celsius, while power consumption reached 5.22 watts. Since this is the Max model, the biggest highlights are obviously the giant display and huge battery. So let's compare it with the rest of the Xiaomi 17 family. Here we have the Xiaomi 17, Xiaomi 17 Pro, and Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. Interestingly, the Xiaomi 17 Max drops the Pro branding, which also means there's no secondary rear display. Previously, that rear display design limited battery capacity. Many users would rather have a bigger battery and larger display instead. And that's exactly the audience Xiaomi is targeting with the 17 Max. Compared to the Xiaomi 17 and 17 Pro, the Max is noticeably larger. However, its overall size is very close to the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. So if you don't care about the rear display but want the best battery life possible, this could be the smarter choice. Placed beside competing phones, the overall size is surprisingly similar. From the side, Xiaomi's design looks slightly thicker and more solid, while Apple's approach appears slimmer. The camera designs are completely different too. Apple separates its lenses, while Xiaomi combines everything into one large camera module. Which looks better is up to you. Overall, the Xiaomi 17 Max stays true to Xiaomi's familiar design language. It's clean, simple, and surprisingly comfortable despite its size. More importantly, removing the rear display makes the phone feel more practical for everyday users. At its core, this phone focuses on what really matters. You get an enormous battery, flagship-level performance, and the full HyperOS experience in one package. No flashy gimmicks, just powerful, practical hardware. And the price? The Xiaomi 17 Max starts at 4,799 yuan in China, which works out to roughly £526 in the UK or around $706 in the US. That's all for now. A full in-depth review is coming very soon, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. So hit that subscribe button, join our tech community, and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!